Big moves are shaking up the Formula One world. Next season, Lewis Hamilton will switch to Ferrari, and Carlos Sainz needs a new team. But that's not all. There are even more surprises in store. Today, we're diving into the drama, including a major upset with Pierre Gasly that left Team Alpine fuming. What did Gasly do that's causing such a stir? David Croft spills all the details in the latest Sky Sports podcast. So let's dive into this video today to know more about these exciting changes and what they mean for the future of Formula One racing. This week, there's talk that Hulkenberg will join Audi, now known as Stake F1 team, formerly Sauber, for several years. David Croft believes this move is likely. He will be there at Audi alongside Carlos Sainz. I think that's where Sainz is heading because Mercedes will bring in Andrea Kimi Antonelli. That makes logical sense. And I think Red Bull will keep hold of Sergio Perez. That makes logical sense as well, Croft mentioned. Gasly to leave Alpine? Alpine's team has been facing tough times, with lots of changes and problems inside the team. This has affected their results on the racetrack. Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, who are important drivers for Alpine, are thought to be unhappy and looking to leave the team because of these issues. During the 2023 season, Alpine didn't do well consistently, managing to score points in only 12 out of 22 races. And further, there were big changes in the team's leadership, which added to the troubles. The CEO, Laurent Rossi, left, and the team boss, Otmar Szafnauer, as well as the sporting director, Alan Permane, were all let go. These firings show that there's a lot of instability, and it seems to be affecting how well the drivers can perform. As a result, Alpine only managed to finish 6th in the team standings. The 2023 season turned out to be a tough one for Alpine. It began with only a small gain of 2 points in Bahrain, followed by 6 points in Saudi Arabia. But then the team couldn't score any points in Australia and Azerbaijan. They did better by earning 6 points in Miami and an impressive 21 points in Monaco. However, their results continued to be up and down throughout the year. Especially disappointing were the races in Great Britain, Italy and Abu Dhabi, where they didn't score any points, showing they were falling behind as other teams improved. Against this challenging situation, the team's French drivers, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, are rethinking their future with Alpine. They are reportedly losing confidence in the direction the team is heading. Spanish F1 journalist Pedro Fermin has reported that both drivers have started talks with their agents to look for new opportunities elsewhere. The two Alpine drivers clearly plan to leave the team at the end of this year, Pedro Fermin said. He explained that both Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly are unhappy at Alpine and have allowed their managers to start talking to any team that might be interested in them. Neither Gasly nor Ocon believes in the team's future, feeling it is losing direction. They both have decided they do not want to stay with Alpine, which they see as a sinking ship, he added. This uncertainty has sparked discussions about where Ocon and Gasly could go next. While the top teams might be difficult to join, other strong teams like McLaren and Aston Martin may not have openings. However, there's talk about Ocon possibly moving to Audi's Stake F1 team in 2026, which is still just a rumor. Audi's upcoming entry into Formula One is drawing a lot of attention and has already been associated with drivers like Carlos Sainz, Nico Hulkenberg, and Valtteri Bottas. So, in 2025, Red Bull might have an empty seat, but it's likely to be filled by someone already associated with their team in Milton Keynes. Over at Aston Martin, Lance Stroll might face challenges keeping his spot as Fernando Alonso's teammate grows stronger. We understand that this situation leaves no room for Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou. Speaking of Zhou, he could go back to Alpine, suggested David Croft, pointing out Zhou's past as a Renault Academy driver. However, for that to happen, Esteban Ocon or Pierre Gasly, or possibly both, would need to depart from Alpine. Croft also speculated on Gasly's next move, suggesting Gasly might find himself at Williams, likely driving alongside Alex Albon. Although this would open up a spot, Jack Doohan is also a contender there, already fitting in well with the team. Croft dismissed the possibility of changes regarding Haas. I think Haas will stick with Kevin Magnussen and Ollie Bearman. Alpine ready with alternatives. As an engine manufacturer, Alpine has all the tools needed to lead in Formula One. Unlike McLaren and Aston Martin, which buy their engines from Mercedes, Alpine makes its own, giving it full control over its racing cars' design and performance. Despite this advantage, Alpine hasn't been performing well. Instead of fighting at the front, they've been struggling, sometimes even falling to the back of the pack. This poor performance could make drivers Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon consider moving to other teams. On paper, both Ocon and Gasly are strong choices for Alpine. They are young, have won races, and stood on the podium, proving they have the skills to help push the team forward. This season, Ocon's impressive qualifying times have often been a highlight for Alpine, especially when the car, the A524, has not been performing well in races. Bruno Famin, Alpine's team principal, sees both of his drivers as important team members. He told F1.com, "We are happy with our drivers and our drivers are happy with us," highlighting the ongoing discussions with them about the future. Despite the team's current struggles, he remains optimistic, noting, "There are ups and downs. We are in a down, but we have a strong project with a long-term vision." Famin also pointed out that Alpine is keeping an eye on the broader driver market and nurturing talent through their academy. He mentioned, "We have Jack Doohan, who is our reserve, and Victor Martins in F2, indicating the depth of driving talent they are developing for future needs." While expressing satisfaction with both Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, he emphasized the team's readiness to make changes if necessary. "We are happy with Esteban, happy with Pierre, but we are ready to react in case something happens. That's it." Further, Famin even has good reasons to feel secure about the future, especially with promising talents like Jack Doohan waiting in the wings. This provides a safety net should Alpine's current drivers decide to leave. However, it's important to remember that Alpine once boasted drivers like Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, and Daniel Ricciardo. If the team has to rely on their academy due to drivers leaving, it might highlight a reduced pull in the competitive driver market. While Alpine has high hopes for its 2026 project and speaks positively about its future, it has faced challenges in the past. For the team to reach the front of the grid, significant internal changes will be necessary. Transforming Alpine into a top contender will require more than just ambition. It will need a clear and effective strategy to change its current narrative and achieve success. Zhou exit looks imminent. In addition, commentator David Croft has expressed concern about the limited number of teams and available seats in Formula One. He suggests that adding 2 more teams could solve this problem by providing more opportunities for talented drivers. Croft specifically mentions Zhou Guanyu, a driver who he feels is at risk of losing his spot not because of lack of skill, but due to the limited seats available. Croft argues that Zhou's ability surpasses what his current team, Sauber, allows him to demonstrate. He believes that Zhou deserves a place on the grid, emphasizing that a driver's popularity should not be the sole reason they secure a spot in the sport. Ex-F1 drivers urged Zhou to be offered a new contract. During Zhou Guanyu's first Formula One race at home in China, discussions about his future in the sport arose. With Nico Hulkenberg close to signing with Audi, taking one of the seats at stake F1 for 2025, Zhou's position looks shaky. At the event, Sky Sports F1 commentators Damon Hill and Karun Chandhok supported Zhou's continuation in F1, noting his significant impact due to the event's success in Shanghai. Damon Hill emphasized the need for Zhou to secure a new contract soon, highlighting his importance to the sport. Audi's interest in signing Carlos Sainz could further complicate Zhou's prospects, potentially leaving him and his teammate Valtteri Bottas without a team. Karun Chandhok agreed, suggesting that F1's chief Stefano Domenicali should actively help Zhou find a new team. He asserted that there must be a spot for him somewhere on the grid. This discussion underscores the challenges and uncertainties drivers face in the competitive world of Formula One. So, what do you think of the Gasly bombshell on Alpine? Comment below and subscribe for more.